every night, Carlos and Jay, alright. Talking love so bright under the studio lights. Dating tips galore, they're never a bore. Laughing till we're sore, tuning in for more. Love in black and white, they keep it loose and tight. Putting love back in sight with every funny bite. Relationships they break, from real to all that's fake. These guys never flake, always make you stay awake. Love in black and white, Carlos, Jay, take flight. Keep your love in mind so right, every single night. Through laughter, tears, and fears, they've gotten us for years. With jokes and all that's dear, our love's clear. Through laughter, tears, and fears, they've gotten us for years. With jokes and all that's dear, our love's clear.
Hey, don't say anything about that. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Love in Black and White, where each week Carlos will try and put the love back in you white. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth, and the co-host, the Black Sergio de Bergerac. Ooh, I kind of like that. That was the dude's name, right?
I'm going to safely assume that you got
Carlos Anthony.
Yeah, right. Stormbreaker, that is correct. That is a pause, but we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it right out the gate. I don't know. He comes up with something different every week.
Dude, I'm amped up. I got some good rest. I had some Coca-Cola, so a little caffeine is in me. And we have a great show for you tonight. Carlos was a little tired, but he's a soldier. He's a fucking soldier for it. He's a soldier for your love, everybody. Cyrano de Bergerac. There we go. He knows what I'm saying. Carlos is the Cyrano de Bergerac Black. Oh, right. Oh,
yeah. Whatever's in that Coke. Yeah, Coca-Cola, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you said Coke. Well, it could be a different thing.
All right, then we got the little Paulo is trying to get on camera. You're gonna have to chill out, Paulo. So we got some good topics. We got some input we want to get from everybody. What up, Victoria, BS Jeffrey, Stormbreaker, aka Heartbreaker. All right, come on, fucking this dog. All right, you got to get down. Wrinkles is also looking at me like, hey, bro, what's up? Now they're fighting right next to me. That's great. I gave a little teaser, I think, or I started to talk about it, and I said I would say it on this episode. So, and this is going to roll into something for all the people in the chat. So, I was going to get the fuck out of here, dogs. God damn it. Take that shit outside. Go on. Hey, get out of here. So, I was going to tell a story about this is probably 30 years ago. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is around like between 1994 and 1999. Fuck off, Carlos. You're going to be there shortly.
This sounds about right. This was back in the Ice Age. But go on.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was working for Verizon when the cellular phones first started. And
they had the big box and brick.
The brick, yeah. I had that in a bag phone, all that
right.
shit.
Okay.
So this I think on the last episode I told the story of when I was quote unquote accused of I might be getting charged with rape. Oh, Jesus. That's if you're like, what the fuck? You got to go listen to that episode. Yeah. I know that's a great teaser. So this story is when I got talked to by HR about harassment in the workplace.
I wonder why.
Yeah. It's about like the story of the rape story. You were 7 years old. Jesus Christ, Victoria. Oh my God.
This just makes it more. Just making it more wiser.
Yeah, a little too old.
Right.
All right, so I was at Verizon. And my buddy, my good buddy John Eichler, it's not a comic, one of my oldest, dearest friends. We were working at Verizon, and Johnny, who's now married to Wendy, and Wendy worked at Verizon. She was friends with this girl. I don't even remember, or this lady. I don't even remember the lady's name at this point, but she was friends with, and I think she was on the same team at Verizon with this lady that I thought was attractive, pretty, or whatever. But even back then, again, 30 plus years ago, before Me Too and fucking workplace, all that shit, I didn't usually try and date or talk to somebody that I worked with back then. Or if I did, I'd have to be pretty confident that they were interested, so to speak. Well, Wendy worked with this one girl, and like we were just talking casually, and I think I said something. I was like, "Oh, she's real pretty," or something like that. And Wendy had offered you. She was like, "Oh, do you want me to like try and set you up?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "I mean, I can see, you know, like I can." So long story short, she talks to the girl and tells her, I guess, something to the effect that I think she's cute, or you know, would love to take her out, whatever, blah blah blah. And from the time that Wendy had let her know that to me then seeing her again, Wendy didn't tell me anything. She didn't tell me like, oh, I talked to her and she's, you know, interested, she's not interested, whatever. I didn't even know Wendy had talked to her, to be honest with you. I think she had mentioned that she might say something or whatever. So, you know, whatever, a few days later, a week later, I don't know. Again, this is 30 plus years ago. I see that girl, and she sees me, and she's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" So I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Whoa, okay." I was like, "Sure." Hey, what up, crazy cutie? So she brings me into like a back room and proceeds to tell me how she was like, "Yeah, so Wendy had mentioned that something, you know, I again, I don't remember all the verbatim, but I'm just giving you an overview. Something effective like, yeah, Wendy had told me that you wanted to take me out or ask me out or whatever, and I have a boyfriend, or I have a husband, or I'm in a relationship, one of those. She's one of those." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." And she's like, "Well, Wendy knows that." So I feel a little uncomfortable that you would want to say that you wanted to take me out, knowing that I'm like, I had no idea. Wendy didn't tell me shit. Yeah. And it was just really fucking awkward. And I don't think she believed me that I was like, I had no fucking, I just said you were pretty, and yeah, I'd love to go out with you, but I had no idea you had a girl or a boyfriend or whatever.
I wasn't digging into information. Yeah, I was just making a statement.
Like, you fucking bitch. No, I didn't say that. And so I remember it ending awkward. Like but she ended up going to HR to report that. And I had to have a meeting with HR, and I told him, I was like, "Look, I didn't all I told Wendy is like, oh, your friend, yeah, she's cute." And yeah, that'd be
this sounds like a story that would precede the first Karen. Like that is Karen activity at its finest. Like, why do you have to bring HR into this? Like, this was a conversation you and I could have had, and hey, I appreciate the appreciation for me. However, I do have a man, so I just want to make sure that you know that, so that there's no other further conversation. What's even crazy is you never even brought it up to her. It wasn't like you was sitting in her cubicle every day, like, "Hey,
you still got that man?"
That's
dude.
Weird. We just gonna escalate this to HR?
Yeah, so I fucking had to meet with HR, and I told them, and I think they eventually talked to Wendy or whatever. And I'm like, "Wendy," I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I can't remember what happened, but as far as like what Wendy said or whatever. I was like, "I'm now in trouble because you didn't fucking you told her that I wanted to take her out, knowing she had a boyfriend or whatever." I don't know. Right? Yeah, you better stop that logical talk, Carlos.
I'm just saying. I mean, why did this have to escalate to HR? That's such a drastic thing, especially if you never said anything to her directly. Like, that's that goes above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Until she fucking took me in the back room to tell me that I was a creep, basically, for shit I didn't even know.
That's more creepier than
I
you
know.
just telling me outright. Like, why
gone
you
to
can't say
HR right
this
after.
on the walk to the car or something? Why we got to go in this back room and have this? Because now it looks weird that both of us coming out this back room.
And honestly, if I remember correctly, that was actually our very first interaction ever talking. Was her fucking reprimanding me for shit I didn't even know. And I'm
Did
like,
you see that chick after that?
Which one?
The one, Miss HR. Did you
no, I fucking stayed as far away from her as possible. Crazy Cutie said, I literally started college Monday. I got into San Francisco State University for HR. Congrats. Let's see how that goes. How old is shit and everything online? And I'm in Georgia. Yeah, congrats on that, Crazy Cutie.
Yeah.
So I tell this all the story because I gave it as a teaser last week, but also that rolls into now dating coworkers. What is everybody's thoughts on this? Me and Carlos both have said, like, as far as like comedians, I'm trying to think. I dated a girl that was, but again, this is like, this is in Seattle, and she like let it be known, so to speak. Other than that, I've always said, like, and there's been girls that I thought, like, the comics that I was like, I think she's flirting with me, but unless it's like just explicit, like, Jay, I want to go out with you, then it's probably not ever going to happen. So I want to, and I know we've talked about this. Actually, I'll let you speak for yourself, Carlos. Your thoughts on it, both in comedy world and corporate world, because we both have come from a corporate background back in the day.
I can't recall anybody that I ever dated that I worked with. I mean, obviously you have that like you said, oh man, she cute, thing. But I've always been very weary of what happens at the workplace, because you still have to work together. If the shit goes awry, then you still got to look at that person every day, 5 days a week, to go to work. So I'm always been like, nah, I don't know if I want to get involved with that. Comedian wise, I have not met one comedian that I think comedian. Let me be very clear.
Hey, man, we don't judge here.
Yeah, no, I have not met one comedian woman. There's a lot that I think are hot, but I'm like, again, I don't know where that goes career wise if the shit goes south. So I'm like, especially if we on two different levels, I don't know what that looks like. So, and I'm not really trying to find out either.
Yeah, Derek, what up, Derek? Derek's in the chat. Derek wrote, I think it's crazy stat that was like 60% of relationships happen from workplaces, though, which I've had friends like my buddy Johnny, that girl Wendy that had fucking got me in trouble. They worked together and they ended up getting married. They've been married now for, I don't know, 20 plus years, So I mean, it can happen, but
because that's where especially in the corporate world, you're spending most of your time. You're spending 40 hours plus a week at one place. So I mean,
and then you're gonna go home and see him,
right? Yeah. Now that's crazy. That to me is even crazy. If y'all definitely working in the same job where you don't have to see each other all day, every day, and then y'all taking a ride home, and then that's a lot. That's a lot. But I can obviously see how, those workplace romances happen, because you're there 40 plus hours a week. So them janitor closets wasn't built for nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, and we both know people that work in comedy that will comics that will shit where they eat, so to speak, as Derek noted. Yeah, and like I have a buddy, I won't say, I have a buddy that has dated comics. I mean, basically everybody in the comedy world, comics, podcast, famous podcast people, comedy people that work at comedy clubs. And I mean, that, for the longest at comedy clubs, that was a lot of things that, like, they would say, okay, like, maybe no drinks on stage. Certain states you can't have alcohol on stage. So they'd be like, no drinks on stage and don't fuck the staff. I would just be like, bro, you don't got to worry about it.
You look around, you're like, I don't think this is gonna be a problem. I don't think there's gonna be a problem here.
Don't fuck the staff. It's always, but you know, it's and my buddy that has slept with all parts of the comedy community. I mean, it's bitten him in the ass a few times. Then you also have like, I mean, I've heard stories of there was a comic, I forget his name, and I probably wouldn't say it, but he was doing like some fucking, you know, like the Chuckle Fucks Club or whatever somewhere in Middle America, hooked up with a waitress, and then they had some type of falling out, and then she started saying that it was like he actually went to court. This guy, this comic, had to go to court because like she was accusing him of this, and it ended up it got either thrown out or he was vindicated. But the thing is that like was held over him for like a year or two. And I remember the guy's name now, but I mean, his shit, it really fucked up, you know, like, is it like where the level that we're at, like a year of something hanging over your head and you're not getting work, then trying to get back a year after that. I mean, people move on, you know.
Absolutely, it's out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, once you out, and especially when you get labeled anything, then especially in this day and age, maybe not 20 years ago, but this day and age, it's a whole different ball game. When you get labeled, people their ears start getting perked up. Like, hey, hold on now, I don't want that in my club. So,
yeah, dude,
I'm good on that.
I mean, I know a club specifically. That they were telling me that they won't. If you notice, I'm not looking at the camera. It's because I'm trying to remember things, and I'm also trying to word things where I don't fuck anybody over. Right. But they have told me specifically that there's certain they won't book comics that have like any type of, you know, past where that's come up. Yeah, they specifically want, which I get, you know, they fucking just don't want the drama, you know.
They don't want the drama. They can't have that messing with their brand because once that wind gets out, especially amongst women, they're like, hey man, this dude is a creep. Then now because women are the biggest clientele for comedy shows. Whether we, you know, I guess we have to admit that. So when you start messing with their money, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game.
Seriously. Oh, is this you, Carlos? Oh, you are. You're live on your channel too.
Yeah.
I just saw it. I saw it up there. Okay, that's cool. Victoria said, restaurant industry, everyone is dating everyone. Really? All right. And then Crazy Cutie said, it's still worse for guys, unfortunately. That I would agree with. I would say it, you know, it's definitely worse for guys.
I'm gonna put the asterisk on that though. I'm gonna put the asterisk on that because I think it's worse for guys who are creeps. Because I don't, we don't operate in that world where we out there doing stuff like that. So I don't think about it. I genuinely don't think about it when I'm out at the club or I'm, you know, out and about that some woman is going to accuse me of doing something inappropriate because I just don't get down like that. But to those guys that are on the fence or far beyond the fence, yeah, it's hell out here for them, and rightfully so. Fuck them. I mean, I say that publicly. I don't give a damn about it because, hey, watch yourself. There's a better approach to this.
It is crazy though that like, I mean, you know, I think about in my own life, like the girl that was, you know, that somebody put something in her drink, and the thing about leaving and going, hey, you may get accused of rape, and you're like, what? I mean, that could have. If she wasn't drugged, if she was just crazy, that could have gone anywhere. Or the girl that said, I'm going to tell people what you did to me. That story, I mean, you know, if I didn't have receipts, it's crazy. You know,
but then your reputation also it would help. I think in those cases, it's stressful, obviously, if you had to go through that. But your reputation should definitely precede that. You have plenty of people, just generally speaking, on your side to be like, I've never seen that from Jay or Carlos or whoever. That person has never been like that. Exes, people you've dealt with. So when one random person comes out, it's like, come on now.
Yeah, but I mean, because it was shit like that was said. I'm trying to think of like, I mean, I had heard the stories of Cosby. You know, you heard of casting couches when it comes to like Harvey Weinstein and shit. Like you'd heard those stories. I'm trying to think, like, because it could just be, you know, somebody defending you and the person going, well, you know, it just takes one, or, you know, well, they weren't trying to fuck you, you know, so, you know, or whatever. It's just crazy though. Like, a person can just say that, whether it's true or not, and then now you're in defense mode. It's definitely guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Oh, 100%. I would
Yeah,
agree with that 100%. And
yeah,
Crazy Cutie makes a point. I mean, yeah, it's some like you just pulled it up. Some women are just built different to be evil, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, once you're at that point, it's no return. You just got to deal with it. But then I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know the workaround.
Yeah, I'm curious, everybody in the chat, your thoughts on workplace romance. And there's a lot of corporate jobs where they tell you you can't date. You're not
Mhm.
no fraternizing, as they say, as the kids say. Kids don't
Well,
say
that's
that.
it's back in your day.
Oh man. And also, I mean, you would once I get this out, it'll all make sense. But I was gonna say, obviously you could speak on that, but I was gonna say, as a black man, I'm sure that probably is in the back of your head too, of like as an additional thing, like
Absolutely.
if you're trying to date somebody in a work environment.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, we call it what it is. We live in two different fronts. Excuse me, and it's a difficult process and it's a delicate dance when you do want to get to know somebody that you don't know and that you're trying to I guess woo them, for what lack of better words, and you don't know what their intentions are, especially in this day and age. So I don't know, man. That's why I said I'm as far as dating for me, I don't know. I'm not there mentally with it, but if it happens, it's going to be very organic, and we'll go get some things straight on the front end.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got to have now. Don't you got to be out here wanting to have non-disclosures in the camera?
I know. Well,
Right.
dude, I mean, you live next to a fucking stalker. I mean, we joke about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
and what I mean, some of the stuff that you've relayed that has happened is she does sound a little fucking, maybe a hint, a little off.
Absolutely.
So what if one day she just fucking threw some shit out there?
Well, I mean, she could, and then we gonna go to war. We gonna go to war because I mean, like I stand on what happened, and what did not happen. So I'm not concerned with it. I think she is batshit crazy, but she can be batshit crazy over there.
Over there. Over there. Oh shit. A Crazy Cutie said it's generally okay if you're on the same level. You can't be a regular employee, so to speak, and then dating your supervisor or superior. Yeah. I say supervisor because I don't look at anybody as a superior. So dumb. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I know of it or if I ever saw that where somebody was dating their boss.
I definitely seen it. I've
Really?
definitely seen it. Absolutely. And it's been I've seen it whether the superior or supervisor is married and it's going down. And I'm like, oh boy, when this
I bet they're going
when this
down.
pops.
I said I bet they're going down.
Man, listen, when this pops, because I worked a job one time, I won't even say where, because it just and I worked late one night and they didn't know I was there. And I both saw him and I was like,
Oh,
they just
fuck.
it was one of those deer in the headlight moments where people just freeze. And I'm like,
My God. You're like,
I know I know who's getting a raise next week.
and tonight.
Right. Right. I was like, yeah. And sure enough, when I had that performance review, we had a private meeting. I was like, I know I'm getting a raise. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about it because what I got on you,
You were like,
100%. How about 2%? Oh, no,
Yeah.
I don't think. I thought you said 5. I could have sworn you said 5% on that.
Yeah, exactly. And also in the comedy world, there's another level to this, which what Crazy Cutie said made me think of it is, I mean, you've heard it like with Louis C.K. and a couple other people where they said like, oh, they were in a position of power. So like as a headliner, if the feature's flirting with you, you got to think, well, now, okay, are they flirting with me because I'm the headliner and they think or that I'm going to do something for them, and they could say that at a later date. Oh, he was the headliner and he used that position to seduce me or whatever.
Right.
It's fucking so many levels.
Yeah, I definitely definitely wouldn't mess with nobody. That's a feature that I have never seen before, and all of a sudden we working the show together, and she like, hey, you trying to push up? And oh, baby, go on, just do your job. Just do your job. We out of here. I'll see you later. Because again, I don't know what your motives are. I don't know what, and I hate to think like that, but you have to. You have to think like that.
Derek said that's stressful. I just avoid. Yeah, I mean that's why I always say like if I were I'm in a relationship, so it's not going to happen. But if I was single, for me to date a comic, she would have to. I'd have to have it documented pretty much. She'd have to be like, Jay, I would love for us to go out on a date sometime. I'd be like, cool. I just needed something in writing, so I have it documented, and that you're initiating this.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck. Yeah, there was a movie, I think Will Ferrell, where they were like magicians, and he was one of the magicians was hooking up with a chick, and he had to sign a whole contract before they did anything, non-disclosure. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me get to some of these topics we have in here. The age-old question. I like that one. The age-old question: who gets jealous more, men or women? And I'm gonna before I talk, and maybe you might want to do the same. I want to get everybody put just write men or women, either one, for who you think is the more jealous sex.
Let's go on the chat. Who do you think,
men, women, or they thems?
No.
Men or women?
Men or women?
I would say, and this won't be my final answer, but I'll say as far as me and you, it definitely would be the women versus us, because I know how me and you have both responded, how we respond in those scenarios where we kind of just cut off. Okay, we got 1 vote women from Victoria, a woman. We got 1 for women. Come on, guys, get it in there. Whoa.
Right.
Write it down.
Trying to get back to HR, I see.
Yeah. Derek, crazy cutie. Who do you say?
Dituro.
Yes, Jeffrey. Dituro. That's Derek. You know who that is?
Yeah, most definitely.
But it depends who the better looking person is. Oh, Victoria.
While we wait on responses, I'm like you said, we definitely think women because of the way we think. But if I have to step out of my box, then I'm going to say men. Actually, I'm going to say men, especially current day, because I think men cannot take the same level of cheating that a woman does.
Interesting.
So I think that men would be more like apt to be madder than a woman.
What I was thinking, and you kind of are going down that, is I was going to say I think it's who is more jealous. So you'll see in my answer, it's kind of going where you're going. I would say I think women are more jealous, but men react more harshly.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think like, okay. I think in overall women will be more jealous, but once if they have reason to be jealous, like like you said, somebody's cheating, I think women can be sneakier but I think men will take it to a more extreme level on their retaliation. I think that's how I got it out. If that makes sense.
It depends. It really depends on that person. But I think dudes take it very hard because we have this ego thing with us. And that if my ego is damaged now because of something you did to me with some other person, then I'm going all in. I'm going all in on my level of jealousy. As a person who would have done that back in the day. But currently, like I said, if it's a woman, I'm like, all right, man, I don't know. I think more women are more jealous of other women.
Interesting. And just noted, everybody so far in the chat has said women, including 2 women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Derek said women be slashing tires, painting cars, throwing your shit over the balcony.
But then dudes are fucking murdering people and chopping them up, and that's why I say it's like I think women overall will be more jealous, like jump to conclusions, but if there is an actual reason to be jealous, I think the retaliation, men are more extreme on that end. So, I don't know what you would call that, but I think women are overall will be more jealous, but men are more harsh in their reaction.
Well, we can go to Discovery ID. We go to Discovery ID and we can see they got shows dedicated to women. They got shows on Discovery
That's
ID
true.
about women murdering men because of their infidelities. And so, we probably shoot tick for tack here. We'd have to do a number search on this one.
And BS Jeffrey getting into some weird shit. He goes, from my experience in relationships, my dog gets jealous when I pet other dogs. Actually, dog, not an analogy. Let's hope you're not fucking that dog.
It's really nice outside. Did y'all know that? The weather is cool.
if you saw BS Jeffrey, actually I haven't seen BS Jeffrey in 10 plus years, but he used to look like the fucking Unabomber. So that when we do the mics up in Seattle. Crazy Cutie said that's not jealousy aspect, that's just psychopathic tendencies. Yeah, I feel like you guys are getting those two things confused. I don't think I am. I think Carlos is. So
hey, hold on.
Why don't you just don't be jealous that I figured it out, Carlos.
I am. So you got to go.
Crazy Q says, is it a girl or a dog? Oh, it's a bitch. Little bitch. Watch out, little bitch. Yeah, that's it's interesting too, though. Like Crazy and Victoria, as the ladies that are in here, I want to get why do you think that women are more jealous than men in general? Why did you both immediately say women? Thanks, man. Every once in a while I get a good one.
A broke clock is twice a day.
Exactly. And while you're doing that, I mean, you don't hear a lot about female serial killers, and I know that's not always about. It's a lot of times it's about power and all this other shit, but the Crazy X videos, usually you hear it's usually guys. I mean, there are women, and maybe because there are so few women, that's why they stick out more, like their names more than like guys. But that'd be an interesting stat to figure out. Crazy said mostly because the modern man can't express their feelings without a woman downplaying their manhood, so they don't tend to show those feelings, which therefore they don't put themselves in the position. That's she's and working that HR fucking muscle.
Right? Yeah, that's right off the top.
Victoria said she sent us me and you a Insta message. She sent us a reel. Okay, is it about this, or is it just like, oh, this is a funny video you guys should watch?
Oh, that's funny. Essentially, it's a woman got a man in the trunk and said, "Don't you?"
Oh,
that's funny.
Oh, when people think I'm jealous, and she go, okay, gotcha.
I can see. Yeah, I mean, that's what women do, and they be so casual about it. So I'm starting to lean back towards, especially after I see that little skit. Yeah, women be more casual about their jealousy and their vengeance.
And I think they're smarter too with it.
Oh, 100%. They think it through. They got girlfriends to help them out, think up a plan and plot and plan. It's going down. We're not calling our homeboys and be like, hey man, how can I get back at this? We ain't doing it because it makes us look weak.
Yeah, and finishing what Crazy said, it was too long. So downplaying their manhood, so they don't tend to show those feelings, which therefore they don't put themselves in position to be hurt. So they don't show that emotion of jealousy, which is kind of exactly what you were just saying, like showing that weakness. It's a form of weakness, so to speak. BS Jeffrey, it's an emotional reaction. Female default to emotion first. Men can be emotional, but not necessarily the default reaction. That's a good point. Women get away with it because they can do a lot more and be accepted for it. Okay.
Hey, it's going down. Oh, here we go. I'm trying to. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
I'm going with my first. I'm going women.
I'm leaning 60-40 now.
69, 31.
We'll go with that. Is that the proper
Keep
math?
it theme for
Yeah,
Love
right.
and Black
Yeah,
Coat.
we'll go with that.
Women are more jealous. Victoria said women are more jealous of women who have the qualities that they are insecure of. Ooh,
That's a great point.
yeah. That's a very true. Yeah. Oh, so okay, Victoria, that this is for you, the ladies. Then that brings up a question. Okay, let's say you're dating Carlos, and then you find out Carlos is cheating on you, and then you see the person he's cheating on you with, and in your view, it's somebody that's not as attractive to you, not as attractive as you, not as cool as you, not it doesn't have your great fashion sense, all that. Like you look at her as like, oh, he way downgraded. So then how do you react off of that versus you see the girl he cheated on you with and and it's fucking Beyonce? How do you react to those two different scenarios? I'm really both you and Crazy Q. It's not that they're smarter, it's that they're more crafty and sneaky with what they do. Crazy said that about cheating. You don't have to be smart to do those things. Yeah. Victoria stabs them both, yes, Jeffrey said. Just fucking yeah.
Listen, if I cheat on you with Beyonce, just take the L. Just take the
L. Victoria said, "Then Carlos has no brains." Okay, Victoria, just do the scenario.
Well, here's again the cheaters rule book. So I've heard is you never cheat down, you cheat up. So you if you're gonna cheat, then it should be better than what you have. So
what up, San Francisco 49er girl? She said, I'd cheat on myself with Beyonce. This brings up a great bit of the late great Patrice O'Neill, who said that he's like, women are good-hearted, like in the sense that if a woman like loves a man, and you present whoever, Brad Pitt or Denzel, whoever the male sex symbol is at the time, and you present that man to this woman and say, hey, would you cheat on your love of your life with this man? And she'd be like, I mean, he's fine and everything, but no, I love my man, I wouldn't do it. And then he said the scenario with the guy would be like, a guy is in love with the woman, and then the guy says, hey, see that girl over there that's passed out over there by that trash bin? Would you cheat on your woman with that man, with that woman? And the guy be like, man, I mean, like the way the garbage is on her hair, she looked kind of cute, and like it's so fucked up, but it killed me. Okay, Victoria said the other girl must buy him stuff then. Okay, you're not answering the scenario. I would applaud Carlos if he cheated on me with Beyonce. Okay, I get that you're saying that. You know what I mean, though. What's the real? Unless you don't want to get real, Victoria. That's cool. If you don't want to, if you can't be real, it's cool.
I mean, it's definitely a valid question, because you have to think of the psychological aspect of that. Like you see somebody cheating on you with somebody that you perceive as being worse than you. Then what is really going on? What is really going on in your head that will not make you snap? Because that would make me snap. Again, like we can always look at somebody who's better and be like, oh, damn, shit, they got their shit together. This dude he's a millionaire. He's living in a nice house. The dude is fine. He ripped up. I get it. Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna piss you off. But you try to rationalize something like that in the terms of the Beyonce part.
San Francisco 49er girl said, my ex cheated on me with someone I looked down upon, and it was basically because they were more emotionally there for them. Interesting. Okay. And how did you feel, San Francisco, when you saw that person, or when you found out? Were you like with them? Were you like, I'm trying, that's my first thought, is that's how my reaction would be if my girl cheated on me with someone that I looked at as below me or whatever. I'd be like, that's who you, okay. Crazy Cutie said, if you feel the need that you need or want a pass to sleep with anyone else other than me, if you're with me, then I can let you go, because that's not showing you care about my worth to you. True. It would definitely mess with my psyche, Victoria said. And Crazy said, it's not about that in my eyes. I think you accept that person and you plan to be with that person. That's who you're with. Yeah. Keep in mind, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Let that sink in. Yeah. What's the old saying? You'd show me a fine woman, and there's some guy that's tired of her shit.
But right. but I also think it goes back to that. What I can't. Of course I can. Can I scroll up? To what San Francisco girl said about emotionally there for them. And I think again, people have to start understanding that relationships are emotional. And if you aren't giving me that emotional support, and to the point that I feel like I have to confide in somebody else, then it opens up that door of consideration that, hey, this person is doing more for me mentally than you are. So it's a very dark place to be in.
Damn, that's fucking and it's fucking brutal. Oh man,
I've been there and done that for sure.
I mean, do you remember like high school time? I know it was a long time ago for both of us. This is a great word here. San Francisco said I was flabbergasted and called her everything under the sun. Victoria said, but it would also make me question what that person does for them that I don't. Okay. Yeah, that's the shit that gets in your head. I was gonna say, do you remember back in high school or even like 8th grade, around then, when you're first starting to dating, you're first liking someone, and you're first like what you viewed as like they either cheated on you or hurt you, and how devastating that feeling was back then versus now, after you've been hurt so many times in life in general. Now you're just like, fuck, man. On to the next one.
Yeah, I mean that if it happens at this day and age, obviously at this age in the game, it still hurts. But you find other things when you mental about it, you find other things to fill those gaps. So
yeah,
then you start focusing. Maybe I focus on my comedy harder, or I go, do things that I enjoy personally by myself to regroup. But yeah, it's definitely different than them high school age. You thought life was over. You're about to jump off the cliff. Your parents got to talk you off the cliff. Like, settle down. This is first a minute.
I remember a story specifically. I don't remember the girl's name, but this is in high school, and there was a girl I liked that she had a boyfriend, but they were on the outskirts, which I shouldn't have been talking to her anyways. She, whatever. But you're fucking dumb, and she knew I liked her, and her boyfriend at the time had broken up, and she was debating if she was going to get back together with him or whatever. And me and her were kind of talking. So I think I asked her like to give it a week of not seeing him or dating him or fucking him or something. I don't know. And I was like, and let's hang out and whatever. And so she's like, okay, I'll do that. And like something happened where I didn't see her for a few days or whatever. And then after that week, I was like, so what do you, and she's like, I think I'm going to go back to him. And I was like, did you guys date in that week, or did you hook up in that week? And I remember she was like, yeah, we did it. And I was like, no. Fucking crushed at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and how old were you at that time? I know it's back in the 80s.
I mean, it was fuck. I was probably 16 or maybe younger, 14. I don't know. Fuck. But I just remember I was just like, no. and then like all the TV shows you see where you're just walking, it's raining, Portland, Oregon rain, and just fucking kicking the ground and just
start doing the Usher dance in the water.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny, like looking back on it. But at the time, that was the most devastating thing in the world. And now I don't even fucking remember the girl's name, but I remember that story and how I felt at the time. That's fucking crazy. We got to kind of cut it short tonight because Carlos and I go into a mic and got to get ready. So let's first of all, thanks everybody for coming to the chat and contributing. Stormbreaker, his last comment. Do you want pizza for the rest of your life, or do you want to go out and try some other foods? Stormbreaker.
You got to make a choice, but yeah, make your choice. Make your choice.
All right, here, Carlos, you do your plugs, and then I'll do mine.
Like you said, we're about to go put some work in the gym tonight at Wise Guys, and then tomorrow we have a show at Bagel Mania.
Yeah, back room comedy at Bagel Mania.
Yep. So
Siegel's Bagel Mania.
going down tomorrow. Then I'm off to Phoenix for Stir Crazy this weekend and back in Vegas next weekend. But y'all can check that stuff out on parttimefamous.com.
Yes, and if you are in Phoenix or you have friends or family there, tell them to go to Stir Crazy to see Carlos and Landry. Landry's fucking great, and Carlos is awesome. And if you do send somebody to go, tell them to on the comment card. Like it sounds corny, but this shit all does help. Like have them put, hey, I came out to see Carlos, and he was fucking great, and that shit is so appreciated. Yes, my plugs. Tomorrow I will be at Siegel's Bagel Mania Backroom Comedy with Carlos and our buddies Noah Gardenshort, Esther Steinberg, and Rachel Wolfson's on the show from Jackass. Friday and Saturday I'm doing the Hilarious 7 at Oyo Casino here in Vegas, and then next week I'll be in Chicago suburbs, Oak Park, Illinois. You can go to bigirishj.com for tickets. If you have any friends or family in Chicago, tell them to come out to the show. I'm going to be at the Comedy Plex in Oak Park, Illinois. And so with that, thank you guys again for coming in and adding your comments and your input. And until next week, we'll keep trying to put the love back in you right.
Peace.
And see.